her crying and screaming in the background, that is my baby sister who has for some reason lost her gosh dang mind. So let's try to actually play this now.
But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Huh. Damn.
I don't know if I should even be writing this.
This game
Maybe
is
it'd be better if
seriously
all of us
beautiful.
just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family.
Huh.
And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
No, I like how it's like shows that she's a modern person.
I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Zerpy, Lurpy, Furpy, Chirpy, Burpy, Derpy, and Derpy Jr. Bob. think that's one old whatever it is. Probably a dog.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Barbara Finch. Wow. Oh, that is cool. That is just... dang. The librarian. She died 2 days after her birthday. Holy shit.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away.
Huh. He never abandoned his house, huh?
She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
That's what that is!
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
Huh.
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Oh, it's definitely a creative household.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
I need to put my phone in the charger.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Hmm?
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take
Oh,
some
no.
pictures, okay?
Just be careful. The camera's older than you are.
Aw. You right, Dad, it's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee. Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Don, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years.
Dad!
Good eyes, Don. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of him.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Don, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Don!
That timing, though.
I'm proud of you, Don. Always remember that, okay?
Oh, God.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Don. Just focus
No,
on
it's
the camera.
not.
Try not to think about...
Dad!
And they both fell. Damn.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Excuse me, I don't want to walk in here yet.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
MREs.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
This to get to a baby, though?
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Hold on, sweetie.
Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like. He reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was he saw, it sure made him happy.
I am dedicated to getting those damn magnets. Yep, I got an achievement for it too.
I know how silly it sounds. That I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it.
I wish you could have told us about the world we saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory. About everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. I keep wanting you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
So, what this game is that it's learning about the family, learning about what happened throughout. Like learning how each person died, their life story. Like for Sam, he was a photographer and a hunter, and he took his daughter out hunting, and when they shot a deer, he went to take a photo, and they're near a cliff, and the deer suddenly got up and bucked and launched him off the cliff. It's a very good game. It's very emotional.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
That's fucking so that can be heard in my goddamn stream.
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom, were the words that I
now pronounce you husband and wife. Make him thrive.
my god. As I said, it can be a very emotional game at times. I genuinely don't remember how to get through this part. Oh, I can see the little bracer on his arm. Oh, hello.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
And notice how the wind's slowly dying
Geese
down.
appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. Thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
Yeah, it feels like you're living through an audiobook. And it's, that's a really emotional game.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
It's the first time I found two stories in one room.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah, I only have 3 more people to find out about. Oh, 4 if I count Edie.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died. My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
From India.
Louis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
Huh. Something for each of them to
house
care
again.
for.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
Huh. Louis rules.
But it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
That's... wait. No, it says when he died. Nope, don't go back in, son of a... Any secrets? Nope. Wait, nope. Yeah, I told you. It's a beautiful game. No, don't, the heck! I did not tell her to do that. Let's try this again. The other one isn't moving at all.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Huh. I always like those little things.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
I wonder what happened to him.
Mom spent months searching for my brother.
Never heard of
She
it.
sealed the doors.
Oh, it's,
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
if I'm not mistaken, I'm actually ending near the end of the
Mom
game.
definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After
I-
he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Because I remember this being a very short game. Imagine having a I'll probably
Lewis's
find it and
room
read it one
smelled
day.
Very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse.
Oh god,
Newly
I remember
sober,
this one.
I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
Alright, so I will tell you, this part is very dark.
He kept working at the canyon,
If you want, you can just listen, I'll tell you when to look back.
but he withdrew part of himself. In
Though
our
it does
sessions,
actually
I
get
saw
really
the same
cool at one
behavior.
point.
His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names.
Like great beasts. The real challenge here is to continue working as this is happening.
He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor, and he won.
Ha!
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
You can see her cutting through his imagination.
In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a
Gonna make him gay.
beautiful prince. The prince was on his own quest for sinister serpents. He followed the sound of his silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound.
Ah! Fish!
He knew the
Notice
world
how
was all in his imagination.
progressively he's getting more and more engulfed.
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
Yeah, this is going to get dark in a second. I'm just letting you know now.
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Or maybe it won't?
He began to forget
no,
the
because now
world
I'm in
we
the
know.
gear. Now I'm in the stuff.
I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
It's creepy that they're faceless.
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising me.
Calico, what? Oh my god. Ah, it's Molly. The cat's dancing. Oh, that's awesome.
His prince waited, holding his crown.
Gay.
There was only one thing left to do.
Okay. Now I seriously think you should look away. Seriously, look away because you're not going to want to see this. And I'll tell you when to look back.
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Man.
My brother was really cool. I
It's...
wish you could have met him.
It really is. I have one more person left to learn about. Well, actually, no, I have two more people. I just realized I never got Dawn. How the hell did I never get Dawn? I've walked past her room.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left.
I like how words like warped around you.
My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
This is definitely the part where we learn about Edie.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe I should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
God, I don't know if I have the heart for this.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Oh God.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
The thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful.
Oh, it smells like fish.
I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
No, I didn't. Alright, so I have to keep
got
walking.
Turned around.
What? Fuck you.
I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends.
Oh, am I supposed to walk one way?
That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them.
Man, you think that's cool? There's books that hide whole doors. And my first... After we finish this, you can...
But that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine!
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go!
I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone.
Man.
After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom doesn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it.
I'm being born. That's nice.
I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
Can I go back?
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
They all lost someone. Thanks, Johan. The heck? Oh, I'm gonna get something for seeing various people's names in the credits. Dino Patty. Hmm. Hmm. Well, there it is. That was... That was What Remains of Edith Finch. I don't really know what to say for this game, because this game is very emotional. It might be. It could be that. It could be the people that worked on the game telling the stories of people that had passed. It could literally be, well, anything. It could even be, well, from what I saw at the end there, it said that it was based on a story by someone. So this is obviously a book that was written by someone. But yeah, this has been What Remains of Edith Finch. Thank you for watching.